Crowd of boys, peace with the lick read. It's been a minute since I've dropped some content. I'm coming to you boys. I'm back. Been going through some, personal problems. Dealing with some family issues, which has inspired me to jump back on and, continue to bring you boys content. In the meantime, in between time, I've been doing some studying on my own, taking a step back from creating content, making sure that the content that I bring you boys is official, that is accurate as it could be on my end, with information, resources that I've tapped into, doing my own studying and my own research. And, this journey is a tough one, and we all have to scale back. And, when I talk about self-love and, doing what you have to do for yourself on this journey of semen retention, this information applies to me too. So when I take breaks and fall back and have to deal with my life and my issues, I have to make sure that the content I bring you guys is clear and concise. And what I'm doing is making sure I'm good and my well-being is good first before, I pour into you boys, into this content, into this community, and whoever this reaches and come across these audios. So I hope everybody, man, who has subscribed, you're still with me. I've lost subscribers, which is cool. They come back. They don't. The ones that stick with it, stick with me, man. I show my gratitude, and I appreciate you boys from the bottom of my heart. With that said, I wanted to speak on generally, overall semen retention, what it has and is doing for us who are practicing this act. This world is a stage, so each act that we perform, it contributes to the universe blessing us, or the universe guiding us in some way to what we want to become, what we want to do, and how we move through this matrix with this power that we harness and that we hold, and either use it for our good, for our benefit, or, use it to get other means, whether it be, for your own selfish needs, or, whatever you are out here trying to do, whether it's to attract women and court women and use women, or, for your spiritual gain. And something that I wanted to talk on is spirituality isn't something achieved just physically, but achieved mentally. It's the power of your mind, the decisions that you make on the day-to-day basis. And one of the first decisions that we make on semen retention is the choice of fapping, masturbating, or having frivolous sex, meaningless sex, or abstaining, not doing it at all. Both having its adverse effects, both having a effect on our mind, how we are wired, how our brain is wired, to certain pleasures, whether we deprive ourselves of those pleasures or we feed into our desires. There's always an overall outcome, and that outcome may be beneficial, and it may be a downside to those outcomes. We just have to use our discernment and our judgment within ourselves to further our journey and to navigate the right way through this journey, to be able to really see the outcome of what is going to be at the end. If you're on this journey, if you think your problems are just going to be solved just by getting on semen retention and magically everything is supposed to disappear, it doesn't work like that. You have to still put in the work. You have to work on yourself daily. You have to become better as a man daily. This is a daily practice. It don't matter how long you're on your journey for. It doesn't really matter. It comes to a certain point where this is your lifestyle, this is how you live, this is how you move. And when you decide to release whether it's having sex or if you fall into a pit where you're releasing to porno or anything like that. It comes with a cost, and know that you're not setting yourself back from a relapse. Everything that you have gained on your journey is still there. You just have to tap back into source and regenerate that power to get you back on track. So everything is not a negative on relapsing or releasing or having sex. Understand that sometimes you have to take a step back to leap forward. You dig? Sometimes you need to fall back from your practice and maybe reshift your focus somewhere else. And I'm not saying get back into porno and you'll be better and then revisit it. No, if you need to fall back and not think about semen retention so much, it's a part of your life. It isn't your life. It's a lifestyle that you live, but it's not something that you need to cherish so much that it's always on your mind. And that's how we kind of fall into temptations and, the urges get a hold of us, excuse me, and we kind of fall to the wayside and we get distracted by certain things. What I'm saying is that don't take it so serious that you can't enjoy life and what comes along with it. You can't embrace the negative and the positive. You got to be able to embrace both and deal with that on not just a physical level, but also a mental level, and it's all spirituality. Spirituality has to deal with the mind, the body, and the soul. Dig this, that spiritually, on a physical realm, people will see a glow. We always talk about the glow that you have, your physique, your walk, a certain attitude that you have. That's all on a physical plane, and people can see that on you. But mentally, the words that come out of your mouth, that's produced by your brain, your thought, your patterns, your habits, that's all mental power. And the more you gain the mental aspect of yourself and being able to harness the energy and have control over your being as a man, the better outcome that you will get out of it spiritually is infinite. You can take this journey as far as you want to take it and build on what you have gained, whether it's a month, 2 months, 90 days, a year, whatever the case may be. Take your tools that you have gained over your journey and utilize them. Put it to work. Put in some action. Put into force your power that you have over yourself and your being into the universe, and the universe will reward you accordingly. We go through seasons where we may be feeling down, where we may go through relapses. Don't fret. You dig what I'm saying? We all make mistakes, and the best part of going through the mistakes is going through the failures of it. And I was just having a conversation with a family member. It was my cousin, and like I said, I've been going through family issues, dealing with family, helping family out. Families having financial issues. I'm having my own issues financially, but having the mind power and realizing money is only a tool, and that money is a resource, and we need to be able to harness our energy and our resources to help each other out. I was speaking to my cousin and telling him that when we have the ability to use our mind power to work ourselves out of certain situations, that's the real power. Not having the money or the resources to say that you have it to work yourself out of that situation, or money fixes your issues, but having that belief within yourself is what you must achieve and what you must have to carry yourself through these life's ills and better yourself as a man to work everything out for his greater good. Our vices, whether it be pornography, alcohol, weed, smoking, whatever, drugging, we run to those things as an escape and to kind of cope with what we're going through. The tough thing to do is to stay sober and to stay pure as we can be, to work ourselves out of situations, because it can be tough. On this journey, I've learned, and I'm sure you boys who have been on this journey, is that feeling better about yourself, moving a certain way, having this uniqueness about you through this semen retention journey, it's become easier to deal with these problems. Using your mind and your thoughts, not being distracted, can propel you into the next phase of your life when it's exercised and used correctly. Last thing before I leave you boys with this is that you don't have to have other people believe in your vision and what you want. You only have to have the belief in your own vision. Meaning, what you believe in, and if you believe that semen retention is working for you and that it is changing your life, and you have change in your life, and you are maturing as a man, then that's all you really need. You don't need any material things to validate what you have gone through, what you are going through, and where you are going in life. What you have inside of you is enough, and what you're doing through this practice is building on what you need to do to have success moving forward. When speaking about relapses and going through the process and having to face failure, failure is a lesson that we learn from. Defeat is something that you accept from failure. And that's the true failure, is when you accept it and you sit in that defeat. You take that as a loss. Failure can sometimes propel you forward for the next experience, to understand that where you went wrong at, the mistakes that you made, and you work and use your mind power to propel you to the next level, and use that failure to gear and put gas in that tank to carry you forward. Use failure to carry you forward. I wanted to introduce, my audios and stuff like that to my cousin, to kind of help him along his journey. He's going through a lot. And since I've been creating this content, I haven't, told anybody close to me what I'm doing. I really want everything to be done before I start talking about it and, introducing what my practice has been. Like I said, I keep my business, because when you start to let people infiltrate into your realm and what you're doing and how things are working out for you, it can kind of take you off course. It can knock you off your square. People can kind of get in your business, and you don't want that, especially when you're still doing your own work and your self-worth. But I was giving them tidbits on, the content that I created, and just using some of those gems to kind of encourage him and let him know what he needs to do to, better himself and further his life. And the first thing is first is, man, we have to focus on ourselves, put our vices down, put them away, and not turn to those things when we are faced with certain life's challenges. And I encourage you boys to do the same thing. Semen retention isn't for everybody. It isn't the end-all be-all to all of our life problems, but it's a stepping stone. You learn a lot about yourself. You tap into certain energies when you're on semen retention, and you learn about yourself, especially when it comes to sex. Am I over-sexualized for real? Is sex really a problem for me? Is masturbation a problem for me? Looking at pornography, is that a problem for me? And once you start to figure those little things out about you, that what makes you tick, you start to realize that in your life in itself, what else makes you tick? Are you easily angered? Do you have a temper? Do you like patience? And that's a very key thing. Your patience is tested through this journey. And I think that's one of the most best benefits, is that you learn to gain that patience over yourself, and it starts to manifest outwardly in your life. So when those problems come, you just take a deep breath and you work it out, and you just have that patience with yourself and the outside world around you. So my boys, I leave y'all with that, and I promise to bring you boys more content. It's been a minute. Thank you to the boys, and shout outs to whoever has been, checking in, where I'm at, everything all right. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. I appreciate the love. With that said, as always, with love and peace.